I grew up in the late 80s, early 90s in a very high crime inner city, Detroit. While I don't usually make a point of it, I did what I had to do, was cordial too when possible, less so when necessary, much as I am today. But I mention it now because I want to say a few things about my experiences growing up. Things I learned, some perspectives earned, the kind usually reserved only for those that live it. Now this is specifically for those that still have misgivings about increased or stricter regulations on guns, despite the recent tragic events in Connecticut. And I'll apologize in advance as I may come across as indelicate, but know that it's only for the sake of brevity. So here you have it. Mostly everyone I knew back then had one or two firearms in their homes, often on their person. Yet Detroit, in that era, came in first, number one in capital murder and violent crime, 10 years running. Still in the top 10 regularly, I understand. So while many of you are claiming that an armed citizenry is some kind of crime deterrent, the fact is it's the mindset of the potential perpetrators that mostly determines that. I mean, it's hardly realistic to imagine that most mad gunmen give even one fuck about what comes of their obviously unwanted lives. Again and again, so many have thrown themselves behind these murder-suicide missions. It's happened enough times in the last 30 years as to become a statistic. And this ease of access that we have to advanced weaponry here in the U.S. only empowers, enables, and enhances the acts of those with these enraged death wishes. Availability. You see, that's the heart of the problem. By now, you must know it. No doubt there will always be madmen and the desperate, but a decided lack of access to semi-automatic weapons would greatly slow their roll and readily make their massive death tolls a lot less devastating. What's that you say? Oh, the Founding Fathers saw fit to write in the Second Amendment, guaranteeing you the right to bear armaments. So they did. But in an age when the greatest common personal guns were muzzle-loaded, single-shot, highly inaccurate muskets. I mean, they had to line up in rows yet. And that still didn't grant a sure hit. Oh, but you needed to defend against tyrannical governments. A lot of good that's going to do you against fighter jets and biological agents and the many other amazing newfangled inventions of nascent modern Western warfare, like unmanned drones that can hone in on a given target via facial recognition software technology. Not to mention that your water, food, electricity, and medicine could easily be cut off, your roads blocked, your internet and phone signal lost. Just how much do you really think you're going to do about it with a fucking rifle, semi-auto or not? If our government had it out for us, they could have easily squashed that trifling noise long ago. And what of the many other westernized nations with almost no guns amongst their general populace? They seem to be getting along just fine. Not oppressed, not subjected to foreign invasion, not constantly robbed by criminals or overrun and taken advantage of by their neighbors. What now? True. One can kill with a common knife or rock. So you ask now facetiously, should we regulate those too? I don't know, but with so close and personal and tiring an attack, just how far would any given madman have actually gotten? How much lower the body count? There's a reason you don't read about too many drive-by rockings or knifings here or in lands that don't have guns so easily at hand. Let's be honest. Look, man, your excuses and apologetics are running dry. Reality trumps macho fantasy every time. How many more massacres need to happen before you can wrap your head around the fact that you just don't need a fucking gun on the regular in this modern day and age, let alone one designed for massive damage? How many more innocent bystanders and children must die just so you can satisfy and fulfill your action hero delusions of grandeur?